I thought actually not earlier. You know what? I'm gonna brave the heat for a second to speak to you. Wine. We're making crab linguini. This is really similar to that prawn linguini I make. It's basically just like lemon, butter, wine, mainly wine. So I spent a nice little moment because we've got wine recently. Look at this new wine rack that fits perfectly under here. It's like, let's sample it. Trying to get better at like wine pairings. Oh my god, so I got this like app. A couple of my friends are like into wine as well, and they're like wine apps. And there's one called like Delectable, but like there's another one called like Vivino, which I've got, and you can like scan labels of bottles, kind of like on Goodreads, and then you like find it, and it tells you all the like notes, if it's like dry or sweet or light or bold or like soft, acidic. It just gives you so much info. I'm like, oh my god, it's amazing. And like the most important thing, which I've told you guys about before, is like wine pairings. Apple, green apple, peach, citrus, lemon, grapefruit. It's more of a dry side, so let's hope it goes well with the seafood. It's supposed to. Let's see if that's true or not. Oh, I love wine. This is a generous glass because quite a lot is going to go in the food.
Are you ready?
Almost. Can you wait 3 minutes? You don't want wine?
No.
That's tragic. Also, I sharpened the knives. I think I said I'm pleased with my garlic because of it. Wine. And this is basically what? Crab. What? Tinned crab. Frozen peas and pasta. And wine and lemon and butter. And lots of garlic. And that's Adam topless. Stop being lusty. I know what you're doing. Good morning. I have 15 pages of my book left. I'm reading Murakami Norwegian Wood. I have 15 pages left. Oh my god. There's just something about it. I don't think I've read anything this quickly in a long time. I read it much faster when I read Half of a Yellow Sun. I don't think this is better than Half of a Yellow Sun, but it's so different. It feels like with everything that happens in it, it should be much more depressing than it is. It's a lot about death, basically, but it's just like trying to not be that. Like death's not the opposite of life. And that like death's like part of your life experience. It's the final part of your life experience, but it's not like the opposite. And it's almost more about like sex and death are like opposites, or if it's just part of everything. Someone recollecting their like student days when they're like 20, like 19, 20, and then the whole like cultural thing of Japan having quite a big problem with like suicide and stuff. I have like 5 minutes until the class starts, so I might slap on a bit of like mascara in my eyebrows, because some people do make you turn on cameras. I don't really want. I don't, because I'm like, I look ugly. Yesterday I was wearing like a white top, and I was like, you can see my nipples through this. I really don't need to. It's so hot yesterday as well. So funny. How'd you get it?
It's open.
Oh. Louis doesn't seem to understand I'm like in a lecture, but now I have the compulsive thing to keep checking that like my mic is off and that my video is off. It's really weird. Class ended a lot earlier than it usually does, because usually we have like 3 hour, I'm not gonna bother, because usually I have like morning session is 3 hours and then an evening session, and afternoon session is 3 hours, and it's usually because it's enough time to show us a film and then like talk about it at the end. But obviously they can't screen film, so they usually just send us the link. They sent it really late yesterday, so like I won't get around to watching it. I will watch it, but I don't get around to watching it. There's only so much commentary you can do and stuff, so well, that session is done, which is nice. I have an editing one later, which I am like so excited about. Like I just because obviously I've just been editing because I'm like, I have nothing else to do. But then I realised I like my desk over here, right? I like it, but I'm facing a wall. I always wanted to be able to face here. The problem is my desk comes too high up, so I wouldn't be able to look out the window anyway. Louis decided to get incredibly creative with the ironing board, which I must say I'm a little bit impressed with, but don't tell him that I said that. But what I realised is, well, he's put it this way, I can put it against the window and stare outside. So that's my plan. He has good ideas, it's true, but I can make them better. Also, does anybody know how to help me with my my string of bananas, beans, whatever it is, because it's fine, and then it keeps getting really like leggy in that kind of way. Does anybody know what I'm doing wrong? Does it need to be in a more light? I don't really know what to do with it. It's kind of frustrating. My other plant's doing really well though. My monstera's popping out a new leaf. The most recent leaf it popped out was fucking huge. So I'm kind of like, I've had it for a year now. So I think with 2 years it should, or like depending how much light it's getting. As you can see, it's getting a lot light now. It's doing well. Also my ficus is doing well. My cacti are obviously having a great time during the heat wave. They've like taken up permanent lodging on that windowsill. You guys might remember that it got really tall quite quickly. And then it was like skinny, which was like, oh no. But I was like, basically Sebastian's bulking out. Sebastian Major and Sebastian Minor was like bulk out. So I'm like, yes honey, get it. Started talking about plants. I want to buy one more plant and then I will do a summer plant tour maybe at the end of August, give you an update. And it's so useful because I obviously kept all of my footage, so you can have before and afters. Pretty much every single one of them has put out new growth, and if you dust your plants, it's amazing how much better they look. Who fucking knew? Everything's going really well. My pilea is getting fucking huge. Why is this already a 3-minute clip about me talking about plants? I was just meant to move the ironing board. Plants are growing. I have 10 pages of my book left. I have 10 pages of my book left. My mind is growing. Everything's good. How am I gonna do this? It's perfect height. This is literally the perfect height. Yes, step into my office. This is much better. So if anybody wants a cheap desk, buy an ironing board. Because apparently this will do. Oh yes, combined genius of me and Louis. Louis. So I finished it. It's one of the fastest things I think I've ever read. I don't think I've ever read anything that's 388 pages quite as quickly. Where's Murakami, Norwegian Wood? I understand that he's more known for his bit more magical realism kind of stuff, right? Louis read Kafka on the Shore. He says it's got a cat, like a magical cat in it or something. So I understand that this is very different to what Murakami usually writes, which I think is quite interesting. So I'm kind of, I don't know, almost glad I started with this. God. It's good. It's very good. There's just something about how he writes. Oh, do you want to see my... Of course, there's something about how he writes, like the most generic thing you could say, but do you want my themes? Do you want my themes? Oh, that's a bug. No, it's gone. I don't know. It's this book about... It's this the note at the back said that people thought it was like very much a love story, which is very different to what he usually writes, and I don't know. I'd argue that it doesn't feel like a love story at all. Like, it really doesn't. Like, it's just, I think maybe because it's just so complicated, and it's just more, so much more than just like talking about love and stuff. I don't know, to reduce it to like a love story would make it sound like it's like YA or something, which it's just not. I also don't think it's that sad though, because this is a book that is hugely about death and hugely about suicide and loss. But I think it's about like trying so much more to find the lightness in the dark, and kind of also the sadness of when people, you know, give up on themselves and their own happiness, and they're like, you know, please take my happiness, take my share, and be happy for the both of us. Which is a lot of pressure. A lot of like, and how you can't fix people, and how we all struggle to fix ourselves even. You know, but our happiness is a choice. To an extent it's a choice. To an extent being miserable is a choice. The way we look for happiness and life and certain things. And I think then the way that like that works with sex too, because there's a lot of sex in this. There's a lot of sex in this. But more just about being like, oh, writing, oh, so and so slept with so and so. It's more like the more visceral human flesh is a word he uses a lot, kind of the physicality, and it's a lot about like sensorial experience. It's a lot about food and a lot about just the way he brings that world so much to life. I mean, it's Tokyo in the late 60s, early 70s. But also for me, that's just a completely, totally different world. So, like, it feels like a little bit more conscious, like, world building, which I think fantasy novels do really well because they know they have to build from scratch. But that sometimes contemporary novelists don't necessarily do because they, like, know that you know a little bit more or whatever. But he doesn't do that, and he builds it up so much with, like, tastes and feelings and temperatures and these kind of, like, snapshot moments that no matter where you are, if you've experienced that, you know exactly what he's talking about. Like, you know that sort of silence, like that really specific silence when snow is falling, something like that, or like that feeling about when you're waiting for, like, you know, your cup of tea to, like, boil in your kettle. And the one that was talking about, like, they're sat in in Midori's kitchen in silence, and it's like just the hum of the fridge as it turns on and off with the thermostat. And, like, you're in there and you also know what the lights sound like. You know, there's, like, fluorescent, like, those lights, but, like, hum as well. And, like, these tiny, tiny little details, but that just makes it so, you know those sounds, you know those, and you just place it so much more. And it's this sort of, yeah, using all 5 of your senses to build something that feels so lived and real. And I really liked it. Thank you, Eddie, for recommending that one. God. Book clubs, my friends. I think it's helped me be, you know, less pretentious. But also Murakami, you can see that it's just somebody who loves literature. In this Toru, he's, you know, very literary and whatever, and he reads Great Gatsby quite a few times, so I'm thinking maybe I should read Gatsby. One day I will read Gatsby. Today is not that day. But yeah, I think this is very good. God damn, I really haven't read anything that quickly in a long time. I really like these editions, by the way, vintage editions. It has a similar feeling to a Calvino, in a very convoluted way. It's almost like in If on a Winter's Night, A Traveller, a couple of those books he starts could have been this one, but I think that's maybe a good way to describe it. Yeah, a couple of those books Calvino starts could have so been this one, and there's one that is Japanese and stuff, it's in there. I've got 5 pages away from the end of the novel, and, like, I started thinking about food, because you talk about, what's it called? Subayaki? Yeah, she's talking about sukiyaki. And then I started Googling it. And then I started Googling Japanese cookbooks. And then I started Googling Japanese knives. We know that I have a thing about knives. And I keep saying it. And the reason I keep saying it at the moment, I've always been like this, but the reason I keep saying it at the moment is because so many of my friends put their knives in the dishwasher. And it's really like, oh, it's like that full internal, external just cringe of like, oh, please do not put your knives, your good knives, your kitchen knives, please don't put them in the dishwasher, for the love of God. A good gift for anyone there in the early 20s that apparently is a knife sharpener. But I just want, like, Japanese, like, this is one of these things that I want for myself, and one day I will treat myself to, is a good set of Japanese knives, like a comprehensive set of Japanese knives. Because apparently they're a lot like the steel they make them out of, and, like, alloys a lot, like, harder, and if the knife's a lot harder, you don't need to, like, you know, sharpen as much, they don't get blunt as easily. But apparently they're very good, like, versus European knives, they're very good for, like, slicing and dicing. They're not, like, necessarily the kind of thing you want to chop through bone with. So yeah, like, slicing and dicing, I'm like, ugh, it's so nice. I had such fun the other day cutting through tomato so easily. Cutting through butter, which is what you do and how it feels when you sharpen your knives. The amount of times I've tried to cut through at my friend's house, don't cut through knives, cut through a tomato and struggle is not a good thing. Sharpen your knives so that when you cut through certain things, it's like butter. Never experienced that? It means you need to sharpen them. And also, it's not a sharp knife unless you're warning everyone that's trying to use it, going, that knife is really sharp, be careful. What my family does. My grandparents were butchers, so the fascination with knives runs a little bit deeper. Pun intended? It would have been a cut steep joke that would have made it work. Anyway, finished Murakami in a couple of days. That's insane. I'm gonna flex on my friends in a book club, because, like, they keep choosing things and I'm always like, oh no, it's so long, and then I'm consistently the one who reads it first. But dyslexic is doing her thing. Anyway, Murakami, fantastic. You can tell he loves literature. Obviously the competent student in me fucking loved this. You should read it too. Ooh, what are we gonna read next? I feel like I need to let this like sit almost a little bit longer, because it's, you know, huge for like what, four suicides and 2 other deaths within this book, which is indicative apparently Japan has a really, really bad suicide problem, which is really awful. Remember, if you guys need help, ever reach out to people that you know and to professionals and stuff. Like, you should be able to talk about these things. My therapy session was really fun yesterday. I enjoyed myself. Read lots, read far afield. And now, as you can imagine, I really want to go to Japan. I really want to run like the Tokyo Marathon or something one day. But now I like really want to go. And I just want to explore, and I just like, I don't know, I find Japan really fucking cool. So I would just like to do that. That's on my bucket list, but like, I got so hungry reading this. I got so hungry reading this. It talks about food all the time. Hello, good afternoon. The last lecture that I had today was on like editing and like sound design and stuff, and we got given an assignment to like design a soundscape, like a landscape, but with sound. How you create an ambiance and like a mood sort of thing, and like how you make it like real and believable. So pretty classic. Anyway, basically it was like use a picture and then like design a story around the picture for like 90 seconds with just like design a story but like just with the sound. So that's what I'm doing. I wrote my little list of like all of my different sounds that I want. Once I finish that, I'll share that with you guys because I'm pretty, I may as well, why not? I just find it really, really cool. It's one of the things I get really excited about. I'm like, ooh. Like I cooked yesterday, so Louis should cook now. And instead he spent 25 minutes agonising over what takeout to get. So now I have to sort myself out, and I'm like, I don't want to spend money on takeout. Well, I am going to spend money on there, however. They're like the corn chicken nuggets. You guys are not allowed to judge me for this, but they're so good. I know it's not chicken nuggets, but they're actually amazing. Like, it's kind of freaky. Like, it is borderline freaky how good they are. As much as I aspire to be a functional adult, there really is still a level of not giving a fuck. These corn nuggets are so good. Mirabella had them at one point, and like we were eating them and we were like, Mira, are you sure these are not real? Did you not like, are you sure you didn't accidentally buy real chicken nuggets because they just tasted like that legit? So if you want to go like vegan or like vegetarian just for like ethical reasons, they were impressive. It's like more of a taste thing and it freaks you out, which needs something else, but like they were fucking legit. It's time for things cause I'm hungry. Do 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 do. Do do do. So I've googled chicken nugget wine pairings because we know that's something I'm a little bit too into. I found a Forbes article. How to pair wine with chicken nuggets. Ooh, it's going for red Pinot Noir Sleeve Sonoma Country Red. I don't know what that is. Rosé. I don't know. I would assume something red. The article was not very helpful at all, actually. So I have my bottle of wine from yesterday, so we're gonna enjoy that. Honestly, these nuggets are freaky. I'm gonna stick in here. What I'm doing is basically in funny shapes of mushrooms on our head mushrooms. These are amazing. Oh, that was a big glass. I'm gonna pretend like it's a problem, but you know. That is good. You know what, it's not bad, but I think maybe something red, maybe something bolder. We've got ketchup as well, but I don't know, I can be fat and vote fit. Who knows? have a lecture right now and we're doing about like colour balance, and he's talking about like cigarette lighters have a Kelvin about 2600, right? So I've set the colour temperature in here to like, this is about like a 10,000. So if you look at like the colour of that, right? This is like 5500 Kelvin, so this is like daylight. See how that's like orange? Again, this is what it should look like. So this is the white balance for, this is about 2600 Kelvin, so now this should look white. That kind of looks white, right? So it's about how you can like balance against the colour you're setting it to. So if you're shooting under like, it's called like tungsten light, so if you're shooting under really orange lights, this will balance against it, so then it'll look white. I find it really fascinating. So a lighter is 2600, so if you're lighting under like really weird coloured lighting, you can almost reference against it if you remember what it looks like. This is really orange, but you're seeing it's quite white. I spooked Adam because I basically went into my room and went like that with my light. I was like, ugh. And now we're back to balanced light. I think my lecture is over. You know when your lecturers aren't. But I think they're all having to get to grips with like Zoom meetings, team meetings, like honestly bless them, because this has to be the most confusing thing ever. Ooh, he's back. Hang on. What was that? What was that? Nothing? You sure? I have a Zoom call in 5 minutes per class. It's a like directing class. We watched this film. I think it won Cannes. I don't know if it won last year or the year before. Just finished watching it. I cannot recommend that film highly enough. Honestly, like I was just like crying at the end of it. Incredibly, incredibly good. I need to slap on some makeup because if this is a Zoom call, it was very likely going to be like, turn on your cameras, and I just CBA with the fact that I look like this. I need my eyebrows on. Anyway, incredible film. It's about like family and like humanity, and just because they birth you does not mean that, you know, they're good parents. Like family isn't just blood, you know. Oh, and results day. It's results day today. So my entire family now is here. Dad's back, mum's back, Adam's here. Everything went as planned in this household, which is quite nice. So they're all off to brunch, so I get to go to class instead. Fun, fun, fun. But yeah, I hope you guys had an okay results day. Everything will work itself out. Brilliant. Time for class. So my mother is back. God, you can see it so well. Look how tan she is. And she's got a sunglasses tan line, and she's telling me that she was wearing SPF and that she didn't go in the sun. I don't believe you. I think you're lying to me. You are so tan. Wait,
I did not go in the sun.
Can we compare?
I did not go in the sun ever. Well, I only went in the sun to swim because there's no shadow.
How are you so tanned? I'm so jealous. We're a little bit Mediterranean. What was it Mediterranean you again?
17.
God, she literally is a bronze goddess. It's not even funny. Finally rained. It's not raining anymore, but it rained. I had a thing to say. Also, I put that hair oil stuff in and I actually quite like it. Did I say I convinced Louis to put it in his hair as well? Get out of tin persuasive. I just had a lecture that was arguably so boring. It was essential, but it just doesn't make it any less dull sometimes. And there are like exciting bits about filmmaking. And there are some bits that are super, super essential, but also super boring. How much do I have to censor this? That's great, you can't see anything. Stop, or you're gonna get thirsty. You're gonna get 30 subscribers of mine in your DMs. I joke. Anyway, the lecture isn't my area of interest. I know there are things I find super exciting and people find boring. But anyway, I got so bored that I actually wrote on paper my term 2 script. And I was thinking about it for 3 months. And thinking about it. And then it took me actually like 10 minutes to put down on paper, which I always knew was going to be the case. So I don't know why I procrastinated it anyway. Because I'm like, I know that I can knock this out in literally 10 minutes, which is exactly why I'm not going to do it. That makes so much sense. But anyway, I've done that now, so I can spend lots of time editing it. Send it to people for approval, notes, do all of that stuff. I watched Whiplash last night. It's such a good film. Whiplash seems kind of like Finchery. I'm sure some of you know what I mean, like the way that it directs your attention. I always recommend it during an editing lecture where we talk about sound. And the film is just amazing, and like they have so much to work with, and it's so fun. And I love editing like to music in terms of like how you can like make the two things work together, and like it's just like my favorite thing to do is like cut to music. You'll find I do this a lot in my vlogs. Like if the action is maybe not like thrilling, I'll use like noise or music, and I'll basically do primarily on that. Like what I was just editing, I'm editing episode 5.5. There's a bit where I'm shuffling around my books. Well, that's not like necessarily the most thrilling fucking thing to watch, is if you cut on just the sounds that it makes. It's just very like, I don't know, it just holds your attention a lot better in that kind of way. And basically I was designing my soundscapes. I was so excited, and I was gonna show my mum once she got in and she was here, and then I sat her down, and then I looked at my laptop and a part of my clip was gone. So I'd managed to bin something once again. How do you give me a heart attack? Accidentally show a file has gone missing. I didn't recall deleting it, but fucking fine, whatever. It's audio I recorded with Louis, but I realised you need to be able to like hear it better because there's like a window that opens, so you need to actually like, it needs to become unmuffled and like feel a bit closer. Basically the space changes, and like, you know, now my battery is flashing. I'm so happy to be back in lectures, even if it is sat at the ironing board desk. And I'm going to my friend's for dinner. She's giving the options are swordfish or rabbit, and the classic thing stands is whenever one of us cooks, because we are still so like early on in our cooking careers, let's say that if one of us fucks dinner up completely, you get takeout. So I need to find a decent wine pairing for that. So I'm gonna go back on my bullshit. Anyway, see you in a bit. Oh Louie, look at your hair. So nice. Oh, look at those curls. Oh, he's put the hair oil in. Ooh. Hello. Oh, Adam looks so sharp too. I'm going for dinner with my friend Adam now. Right, we're having duck, so I spent a good time of wine. Time choosing the right wine. Anyway, this is my outfit. I'm wearing this dress again. Wine accessories, of course, are optional, but I put my hair up like this. I haven't done this like this in ages, actually. It makes me feel like extra long. Ooh. It's finally raining. It's a nice breeze.
Feel really like shouting, shut up.
That's so funny.
They can't sing that high. Nope. Didn't think so.
Honestly, I need more of that energy in my life. Like, honestly, the projection is really impressive though. They are far away from our flat. They are far from our flat. It's quite a cool shot, actually.
I have a better view from my room, right?
Oh gosh, buy me a drink first.
No!
That was very good. Always filming.
Always for the vlog.
without any rain.
That annoyed me so much. I was so expecting
A downpour.
I just escaped narrowly the rain line.
But for
A tiny little dog, yay big. I'm actually fine.
okay, because we can go inside because I'm also aware you eat at like 8 o'clock, don't you?
Hungry. And then past 5, I'm not hungry anymore until around 8:39. So hungry.
The meat looks so good. Me too. Also for oh, exactly. Were you
How excited was Lou when these arrived? I know what you want him to do. Haha. Louis bought dumbbells. So happy. Woo! Adam, how long do you reckon I can keep this up for?
Not very long.
You would be right. One thing running doesn't really do is tone your arms. I'm still weakling. I'm gonna run hopefully 12k. I was umming and ahhing if I wanted to do Regent's Park or if I wanted to do Hyde Park. I've been pretty fucking consistent, going out at least once, you know, but I'm reading Murakami. When I took it back running. I'm like here. So it feels wrong to run it, read it and then not run it. So I just want to get the grind in. And also it's super annoying me because all of this is in like miles and stuff. Like clearly, I think Murakami probably does use kilometers because running 156 miles, then 186 miles, then 217 miles is like, that's so odd. But when you realize it's 250, 300, 350k. Metric system is so much better than the imperial system. This week I'm sure has been an incredibly dull vlog for you guys. I've had like what, 25 to 30 hours of class this week. It's been a lot. Until we wrap, I have I think 5 days off. You don't have weekends, you don't have free time, you basically don't have a life until we wrap, which like is exactly what you sign up for. I've got my unit that we work with this term. I'm going to talk my unit into like if we can have dinner together, and I'm going to veto all film school related chat. Just be like, let's just hang out and actually socialise, because obviously that's one of the problems with doing everything online is that we don't really get to interact with each other. It's obviously better for Corona but worse for us learning, but priorities obviously. Luckily next week I do have some sessions that we can go in for. I'm gonna go on my run today because I just need time by myself. Yesterday I saw quite a few of my friends very spontaneously. I was like, ooh, this is fun. I went to see my friend Tommaso, he's such a peach. I just sat into my class at his, and then I ended up managing to see a couple of my other friends. They ended up being very close to mine, so I was like, oh, perfect, let's do drinks. And then did you see that rain? That was insane. Yeah, so I had a class on Saturday, that was fun. I have a class next week too, the weekends. It's just so much class on weekends. Film school takes over your life. It's literally 30 fucking hours of teaching a week. It's like, also this is like my favourite running outfit. I just really I love these leggings. I honestly might buy another pair. Also I'm justifying that as one of the reasons I didn't run this week very much was because all of my stuff was in the laundry. I'm procrastinating it by talking to you guys. Does anybody, I am going to do a plant tour video, I promise you. I just want to buy one more plant. How do I make this plant love me better? Like it just does the whole like leggy thing and I don't really know what to do. This one however, look at this baby. Oh my god, who's a good plant baby with so much new growth. Oh how cute. And obviously my pilea is literally doing so well. This is so much bigger than when I bought it. It's kind of mad. Okay, so apparently I don't want to stop filming because this is the first time all week I've had a minute to think. I ran 14k. I'm quite proud of myself, except in the middle of my run, it started to piss it down. Like, piss it down, which for me, I'm running, I thought it was absolutely wonderful. And it's funny because then like everyone clears off the paths as they like scream and run for a tree. But then I wanted to just pause my run for a second in order to like, you know, breathe. And I was like 8k in, and then because I got my phone out, the rain, I shit you not, pressed the buttons for me. So the rain cancelled my run, or I don't know if it was the water messing with my phone, but the rain basically cancelled like and ended my run. Luckily it didn't like delete it, so that was, I think, I like ended it, so I got like 8k in, and then my app was like, nope. So I ran 14k, so I'm super happy with that. My body is very tired. I was only meant to do 12. So the run, it's like around the Tide Park and then around the Serpentine as well, so it's a bit further than I thought it was. So now I'm gonna eat a smoothie because there's so much fruit, lots of fruit. It's fruity blendy time, yay! There's like a division about this, but I generally run fasted, which is the fancy way of saying I don't eat before I go on a run. It's absolutely not like a weight loss technique thing for me. It's absolutely a I don't eat stitch thing. So oats. Banana. Oops! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
Why don't you put the news in with the...
Yeah.
Whatever I'm
Do you want me to...
You deserve that.
Oh.
Are we ready? You were saying?
So if I...
Sorry, what was that?
Emma
So you-
is a man.
Adam! Here it is. Literally totally ambivalent,
That's your...
which is the correct opinion. Because I am your superior, Charles. Adam, you don't make olives, that's the beautiful thing about them. Hello, me again. I just put my hair up like this and I haven't... It actually looks cute. I've been putting this hair oil in it. I think I mentioned Lou's been using it as well. And it's actually making my curls. My like waves, a little bit wavy. It's quite nice. Also, I rearranged my room. Ta-da! Basically, this used to be down there. So I just kind of moved it. I might sort out what's in here and put all of this stuff down here in there. I think it makes a nice little table for my plant. This is extra optimal plant space. And now I have a better view from my bed, yeah. Yay! Alright, I actually will leave the vlog here because otherwise editing them is going to be really annoying to me. Peace out, like, subscribe, and all jazz. I'd like to see you guys maybe soon. And like I said, we don't know. Bye.